Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are stepping up again, this time to help an inner city school by making the underfunded school get cushions and carpets to make a better outdoor space for them to film their documentary in. Oh, and also silence them so they can't ever speak negatively about the couple. Huh? Welcome to Popcorn Palace. I'm Andy Signor, and this one's a doozy. Now, look, when I first heard this and Steph pitched me this, she saw it while we were out in LA, and I thought, well, NDAs are common. Like, I could see that being sort of part of the case. But no, the more I look into this and the more I'm learning about what they demanded while visiting this school in Harlem, my God. And I'm waiting until they throw the person under the bus, their PR rep at the time. We'll get there in a second as we get through this. But let's break down the charitable acts of Harry and Meghan. Now we get to actually get to the minutia, the details, the emails that were sent in order for Harry and Meghan to choose a school to help that they could then put in their $100 million Netflix documentary. Like, let it sit for a second. Everything we're about to read are the demands made by Harry and Meghan in order for them to help by showcasing their esteemed presence at this Harlem school to make themselves look like they're charitable, great people. But no, they had to do it and make sure it looked fantastic in doing so. Ooh, this is despicable. Are you ready for this one? Are you sitting down? Are you sitting down? Before we sit down, can you make sure you're subscribed here to Popcorn Palace? Can you spread the word? Hit the bell, hit the like. What we do here is we dish on the royalty. We do. I'm always learning more. We're doing it together. And you're not going to miss future episodes. Trust me. Trust me when I say we got some big stuff coming. So stay tuned. All right. Well, let's get to this, shall we? All right. Yes. Emails obtained by the Daily Mail show that Harry and Meghan reps raised the idea of new cushions and a carpet for their September visit to PS 123 in Harlem. Files reveal the press release for the event went through multiple rounds of editing to ensure the visit seemed more substantial and less promotion-y, which is what it was. Archewell staff also distributed consent releases to the students and faculty that allowed them to film the event for their Netflix series. Now that's normal. You got to get the parents' permission. They got to sign a release form to be in the thing. I get it. But the NDA in that release form, that's where things go off. All right, so here we go. So newly released emails unveil the extraordinary lengths they went to pull off the couple's high-profile visit to New York in 2021. Files obtained via FOSHA request show the Sussex high-powered aides pulled strings behind the scenes to ensure they were presented in the most positive light during a series of public appearances that were filmed for their $100 million Netflix documentary. For one of the stops in their 3-day tour, representatives for Harry and Meghan raised the idea of bringing cushions and a new carpet to the public school in one of New York's low-income areas to better fit with Meghan's aesthetic. Because she's just going to look so awful in this Harlem school. This prominent black woman showing up in the Harlem school, she needs a little bit more aesthetic. My God, can you imagine? Can you imagine that she needed all this? She couldn't just show up and sit in the chair that they had and be part of the people, to be part of whatever this school has, to just be part of the Nope. The emails show Archewell staff had a say in which school they would visit, went through multiple edits of press releases to make their appearance sound more substantial, and even amended the public diary for top school officials. Yikes. So here she is reading her book. She's promoting and selling her book while appearing at this event for kids, while there's carpets and cushions and things to make it more coordinated and look more to her aesthetic. Here we go, as the kids are just like, huh? What's going on? As they exploit these kids. Let's call it for what it is. Let's go to this underfunded inner city school and we can show that we're helping them. Oh, but follow our demands or we won't show up and we won't help. Press lists for their events also were tightly controlled and restricted to Meghan-friendly publications, such as Vogue and other outlets, while British tabloids were banned. The emails show students and faculty at the Harlem Elementary School were even asked to sign consent forms for filming and banned them from discussing the project or making negative remarks about the famous couple who were visiting. Now that is strange. Yeah, a release form doesn't now a release form can say you're not allowed to talk about this until it airs. But to say that they're not allowed to make negative comments, it's a gag order. They are literally silencing and making inner city kids sign a gag order to not discuss it. Harry and Meghan's trip to New York was designed to showcase them as world leaders, and it included a stop at the United Nations for vaccine equity. The itinerary included speaking appearances at the Global Citizen Festival in Central Park, where they were constantly tailed by a camera crew for the 6-part documentary. According to the correspondence event, the planning started 6 months earlier and was spearheaded by Toya Holness. Here she is, one of the Sussex PR staff who previously worked at the New York City Department of Education. Now, interestingly enough, she has parted ways with the company. Now, I wonder, with now all this getting out there, how quick Meghan and Harry will be to throw Toya, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, to throw Toya under the bus. Toya has now seemingly gone private on social. I've reached out, Toya. I have your back on this. Just like we had Jessica, Meghan's BFF, called me. I do not burn my sources, Toya. But boy, would I love to speak to you off the record. And I assure you, I will keep it off the record and only share what you allow me to share. But oh my goodness, would I love to pick your ear on that experience. Just saying. Off the record, always. Guys, I always keep my sources off the record. I have to, or my whole credibility is shot here on these channels. I always protect my sources. So, Toya, hit me up. I dropped you a DM. Anyway, hey, worked with Jessica. Let's keep trying, shall we, guys? According to correspondence, this all happened. Yes. Okay. So it was spearheaded by her. On the second day of the trip, the former royals made an under-the-radar visit to PS 123 in Harlem, where Meghan read her new child's book, The Bench. Of course, she had to promote her own book there, not read one of their own books or help. No, let me read my book, The Bench, about how I fell in love with Harry, to all these class of second grade students in an outdoor read aloud event on school grounds. Inner-city school has a 91% Black and Hispanic population, 95% of which qualify for free or reduced priced lunches due to their low-income backgrounds. But when the Duchess appeared at the school, she arrived wearing a $5,840 Loaprina cashmere coat and matching $1,680 pants. Like, are you serious, girl? What? Your whole outfit is like, could like feed them for a year. Feed the whole school for a year, and you're just there in your attire. Oh, but let me bring some cushions and carpets. Did you pay all these kids for exploiting them for your documentary? I'm guessing not. Hi, Danielle. It's wonderful to meet you via email. Thank you for reviewing our filming request. While we await your feedback, I wanted to make sure I understand the most efficient way for us to collect appearance releases. Toya mentioned there is a blanket release that all students have signed at the beginning of the year. Would that cover our shoot, or would we need to get additional, more specific consent forms signed by all participants the next day? Thanks again for all your help. We request permission to have still photography and video with a producer to capture the special week. Dedicated photographer, film team are capturing archival content of Archewell for future use, including digital use in Netflix. It's for Netflix. We're looking to capture as much of the event while we're there, include students coming to the space, book being read. Before after, we aim for this to be low impact. I'm copying my colleague. So does it say, I'm curious where it says that they can't talk about it. Now, this is common, but they should have been paid. Pay for these releases. All these free extras, these students, these just, oh, look at them. These underprivileged kids that'll just be there. Hey, you want to be in the, it's kind of gross. Yes, I'm good with that as long as the teachers are cool with it. I hear from my colleagues that a meet and greet with the principals will now occur inside a classroom. We'll be able to have our photographer film that moment. They really all wanted to film it. They want it all on camera. They don't want to do it. You noticing this? If it's concerned about filming the kids, then perhaps we could restrict our coverage of the event to only film the interaction meeting with teachers or other adults. We'd happy to oblige. While the content could be used for future documentary, it is not intended to be promotional in nature. Hope that includes. Hi, would the consent be used for promotional purposes of any kind? Unfortunately, our kids can't be featured. Oh, interesting. Unfortunately, our kids can't be... Hold on, let me open this without all this stuff. Unfortunately, our kids can't be featured in any of that kind of material. Oh, interesting. While the content could be used for a future documentary, it is not indeed intended to be promotional. Yes, it is. Just following up here. If the concern... So they did film the film. Yes, I'm good. So then finally... Yes, I'm good with that as long as did they show the kids in the documentary? I should have prepared that a little better, because if they did rather, I see him here in these pictures. So here's the, all right, so here it is. Here's the appearance release. Oh my God. I shall not discuss the material, my production, confidentiality clause. So there it is. The confidentiality clause. I agree that without prior written permission, I shall not discuss the appearance release, the material or project itself, or my participation. Further, I agree that I should not make any commercial use of the project. Blah, blah, blah. For example, for the sake of clarity, I may not make disclosures. The website, neither nor am I representative shall directly, publicly representative, publish or otherwise disseminate a news story. I agree to not make negative, derogatory, or otherwise unfavorable statements about otherwise any of the released parties. Jeez. Yeah, that's it. There it is. Yep, that's an overreach. Now, were these kids in it? Help me, I'll tell you in the comments. So she wore $387,000 worth of jewelry. I mean, all right, her engagement ring. That's why. Okay, fine. Harry, Princess Diana's Cartier tech watch. Jesus. All while around these kids. According to the emails, 3 days prior, Archewell representatives contacted the New York City Department with location and appearance releases form for filming and asked them to run it by their lawyers. Papers which granted Sussex film crew permission to capture archival content of Archewell events for future use, including confidentiality count. It read in part, yeah, we just read that. So now in the future about the filming, the document stated, I agree not to make negative comments. While school officials asked about what the footage was for, wholeness was vague. Interesting. Thank you. I'm in a meeting, but we'll check back. Danielle, can you share labor? Emails also show discussion about securing carpets, cushions, decor for the event. Anything we can add to description to make it more substantial than a read aloud? Something about community supports of the arts, please? I think we should ask folks. It is a read aloud. It's a promotional read aloud for your dumb book and your dumb documentary. But can we make it sound like community support of the arts? Oh, you guys are the worst. How do we exploit these kids? We're here. We got permission. We're filming. We're going to exploit all this footage for future use, even though you knew exactly what it was for. You knew exactly for a Netflix documentary. But look how vague they are. Holiness requested editing the event's description to more substantial, supporting the community. Yes, totally. Just want to make it a little less promotion-y. Now, Toya. They are throwing you under the bus. Who told you to do that? Who told you to do that? Who told you to do that? Makes sense. Let us take a stab at incorporating those edits and come back with an updated for your approval. So here's what they're trying, the school now trying to make ends meet. Even though the school's like, yeah, well, you're coming to read your dumb book to us. The press release went through multiple rounds of editing, including Phil's decision to scrap a description of Meghan's book to make it less promotion-y. Yeah, so the principal or whoever didn't want it. The school took it out. She said the documentary crew were capturing archival content for future use. That's nonsense. It was for a Netflix documentary. Warned the Archewell team that children can't be featured in any material that is promotional. Head of unscripted content Archewell gave another vague answer to the content could be used in a future documentary, but was not intended to be promotional in nature. Final email in the chain 2 days before asked for the best way to get the releases agreed and signed. Over other emails show that Archewell and representatives from Penguin published the bench debating extensively over the minutia of the school event. Dominique, a publicist with the publisher, wrote, "My team is looking into all things, carpet, cushions, decor, more to come." Now, I imagine the publisher brought those cushions. They didn't make the school. I'd be shocked if the school had to present those things. Video of the event shows Meghan sitting under a tent, the playground with a soft blue box with pupils, and Harry sitting on a green mat, green cushions. Two sides email the language of the Department of Education press release, with Filson taking out the entire paragraph about the bench. Holson replied, "I like all your edits except the bench section. If you take out all the info about the book, I think it's weird to only have her bio and not his," apparently referring to Harry. So then they made the book part go back in so it could be promoted from the book. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because it was a promotional thing for the bench. And that's what they didn't want. It was amended to make the event appear more substantial than just a read aloud with her hugely expensive attire. Just want to make sure it's less promotion-y. Holdness objected to the phrase read aloud for use in a public scheduled school. She wrote, can we make the description more community support? Yes. Representative appears to have changed a line, yada, yada, yada. And then we went through the list of the outlets and friendly places. Oprah, New York Times, Huffington Post, New York Magazine. Holness mentioned that Vogue might come. And then Filson went, ooh, exciting. Such control of the media was even more apparent during Harry and Meghan's first stop. The couple visited the top of the tower where they were met by the New York mayor. Anyway, you're getting the gist. And they Holness was pulling the strings to bar British newspapers from attending. Just flag one, under no circumstances should we let folks in from the 4 UK tabloids. Among those in the chain, so there it is. Proof. Claim appears, Archewell did not respond to comment. And there we go. So that's what we got. Second car was driven by men. Anyway, so So, all right, there's the story. All right, so overall, my takeaways. Sorry, just making sure I gave you everything that was up in there. What's interesting to me is I don't think the school paid for the mats and stuff. I'm sure the publisher or the Netflix, I would hope. And if I'm incorrect, we'll prove that. But this was totally promotionally. And if the kids are in the documentary, then shame on everybody because they totally tricked them. This was absolutely for a Netflix documentary. You knew well and good you were making that documentary. And so for them to use the kids like this and then force them to silence them and put them under a gag order, this is a bad look. And I'm curious, how long until someone, they're already starting to blame her. They're putting her in there. How long until Toya gets the cancellation of, it's all her. Toya, I'm not rushing to that. I don't believe it was just that. You're doing a job. You're hired by them. You work for them. Who told you to do it? If they throw you under the bus, I hope you are very quick to correct it because they should not have that power to be able to just run over their employees. And this is not the first time they've done it. It's not the first. They run everyone over the bus. And I'm sick of it. It's time to call them out. What do you guys think? I want to hear your thoughts on this. Are you surprised? I'm sure you're not. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts, smash that like button, and let me know your thoughts. But are you surprised that they exploited and used an inner city school for their own benefit to sell their book and documentary series? And are you surprised that they didn't seem to even pay them? Like, what do they get out of this? What do they get? I mean, maybe they wore the mask that blocks the release forms. I don't know. But my goodness, this bothers me. I want to hear what you think, though, down below. Stay tuned for more. We got so much coming here on Popcorn Palace.